solve large, intractable problems.
It's a new venture altogether.
Your brain is a wild horse there.
Because remember, writing is not a team sport.
You are not selling horse carriages when there are cars.
I want to be known only as the trusted advisor.
More like a tourist.
Play to Potential podcast.
A related point you mentioned in the book, Raghu, is you talk about the distinction between heroic and asuric action. And you say that it often the difference is the state of emotion one operates from. You touched upon it right now. And you go on to say that we all need to operate from a state of equanimity or Shantham. Can you say more about this?
See, Shantham is a very, very highly valued state of being. All of yoga actually attempts to bring you to that state of Shantham or equanimity. Okay, Shantham is usually translated as peace, which is it's not peace. It's the state of quiet, high potential, but completely quiet. Right? It's like a good, like Federer or a good batsman who's still and watching the ball. He's not pre-committed in any way. He's very alive. That is Shantham. Right? And he can respond immediately to whatever is appropriate. If you're pre-committed, you can't do that. Right? So Shantham is that pregnant, powerful silence.
But
right?
Fully alert and fully alive.
Fully alert, fully alive. All possibilities. Now, if I can find a way of getting there and being there most of the time, imagine how powerful I'll be. Right? And every action of mine will then be the best that I can be.
In that moment.
In that moment. Right? But most of us are caught with conditioning. That's the compulsion, compulsiveness and all that I talked about now. We're caught at different other states which are much more suboptimal than this. Right? So Shantham is a very, very prized way to be. I mean, Chanakya has written a book on why a leader should be a yogi, why a king should be a yogi. And he's written about yoga and he emphasizes this. Right? How does this person stay in Shantham? And then when you're adjudicating, you're going to be as wise as you can be. When you decide to fight somebody, you know whether it's a real fight or a self-acquisitive fight. Right? So if you can be in Shantham, the chances are you will respond from a deeper intelligence. That's the Krishna voice that I said. But if you're not, the chances are you're going to respond from a self-centered space, either in pleasure-seeking or pain avoidance, right? Either acquisitive or violent, reactive. Any action that comes out of self-centeredness will turn out to be asuric. It's not dharmic.
And for busy leaders in the corporate world, you've done a lot of work with leaders in the corporate world. What do you advise them to start, at least to go in the direction of accessing Shantham? What are some of the practices that you have?
I think there is a greater and greater understanding today that mindfulness, at least, is understood as an important thing. Right? And I know a lot of leaders. I've had a long conversation with what's his name? Bansi. Who's that guy? Yeah, he's there in the book also. Vallabh Bhansali. Yeah, I've had a long conversation with Vallabh Bhansali. Now, he talks about the importance of Vipassana meditation and how it helped him as a human being. Right? There are many younger people, Vellayan, whom again I've interviewed in the book. He speaks about how much he's been influenced by Sadhguru. Right? There's a Mustafa whom I discussed with. Yes. He speaks about how studying the Quran in depth has helped him to understand how to make decisions. And his life is a very interesting life.
PC Mustafa, ID
Yeah,
Foods.
PC Mustafa,
Yes.
ID Foods. Yeah, phenomenal. Right. So there are many people who have this in them. They know that they are gifted. Something in their life has told them, I must use this gift in ways that are dharmic, that help people. Right? And the leadership that they exhibit, the way they deal with people, is of a different order. Yeah, there are other people whom I've seen, whom I've met, who've got triggered by an opportunity in the market or this or that. Right? Their approach definitely has an acquisitiveness where utilitarian philosophy, using oneself as a tool and using other people around as tools, predominates. I don't see these organizations, unless there is some big shift that happens, becoming institutions. Like the Tatas, for example. You see them describe many of their decision-making processes. It's profoundly human. It has a huge dharmic underlying thing around it. They might make mistakes here and there. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, but most of the leaders I've met there have this ability to be self-reflective, to ask the larger question and things like that. Yeah, and I'm absolutely certain if the world has to go forward from where we are now, unless there are many, many leaders of this kind, you cannot look at a meaningful future. We are at the brink.